Hi guys, this morning I said I'd do a quick video to follow up on yesterday's video on why is the nation so fat, and yes, that is a picture of me with a very fat tummy. It's one I took at the start of my keto journey. I try not to, I don't really like putting up those kind of photos. I only took one photo, which I still have, and I couldn't believe how fat I had become. And I think as well, you compensate as you get fatter, you compensate for, I was 213 pounds, I think, at my heaviest. I'm now 180 today. I've lost 3 pounds, over 3 pounds since I started back on keto a couple of days ago. So, and I feel better. Once I tip 180, I don't feel that good. So the number one reason why the nation is so fat is because of insulin resistance. So we are eating loads and loads of carbs and sugar, refined carbs and sugar, and then we can't then process, even though the insulin is being released to you to help manage that sugar. So you eat loads of carbs, your blood sugar goes up, and your insulin is released to control, to manage that blood sugar so you won't kind of spin off into a crazy, the way you get a sugar rush. So the insulin is released. Now the insulin normally does two jobs. So its main job is to distribute the glucose into the cells for energy usage. It is only in the instance of excess carbs, blood glucose, but the blood glucose in this case is too high because of the refined carbs and sugars. Well, I'll get back to that. I'll circle back to that. So the insulin's second job is to store that excess blood glucose in the form of fat. So it will put it into fat cells. But insulin resistance is where many cells no longer respond to insulin. So insulin's coming around knocking on the door and saying, do you need some energy? Do you need some glucose for energy? And it's not responding. It's not opening the door. It's not even coming to the door. So insulin resistance is where there's lots of cells, not all cells, but some cells are not responding to insulin. So it's no longer able to function properly. And why does this happen? This is the key point. It happens because of hyperinsulinemia. We are releasing insulin too often. So we are releasing insulin because we are constantly eating carbs. So let's say my old diet, porridge for breakfast, blood sugar release, glucose release, quick release. If I eat eggs in the morning, which is what I eat, I don't eat anything in the morning. I fast in the morning, but other people in the house eat eggs. So I eat eggs in the morning. There's a very low release of insulin because the eggs go into my system, which is mainly fat, protein. So that is got into my system, and it takes a while for the protein to break down. The only thing that's going to release insulin out of that is probably the protein. But the protein releases very little insulin. So the protein is being processed and turned into blood glucose. This is why I'm going on about insulin in my videos. It is turned into blood glucose. The problem with refined carbs is a lot of the processing is already done. So by the time I eat it, my lovely white slice of bread, it goes very fast into blood glucose and very high. So if I eat an egg, my blood glucose might go up very slightly. Like I'm telling, you wouldn't even be able to tell in the blood glucose monitor. So your blood sugar remains stable, which is what the body wants. It wants stable blood sugar. So I'm not eating at the moment, but I have stable blood sugar and I can feel I have stable blood sugar. Why? Not because I'm eating, but because my body is using up, it's in ketosis. My body is using its own fat stores. Listen, lads, I've plenty fat, plenty, especially after Christmas. So my body is now, if my blood sugar drops, you need it to balance out. So what my body does is it goes around the insulin goes around and looks for fat, and it releases the fat back into my bloodstream. It's processed in the liver and it goes back into my bloodstream as blood glucose. This is where a lot of the confusion lies, is blood glucose is not the same as the glucose you ingest, the sugar you ingest, the carbs you ingest. But the problem with the carbs and sugar, the refined carbs and sugar that you ingest, is they very quickly go into massive amounts. An overload of blood glucose is created, which we don't want. That's why it's better to have some protein and fats. So when I do eat, it will be mainly protein. Well, it's probably going to be a bowl of Brussels sprouts, microwaved out of the freezer, and then a massive load of cheese and butter and black pepper and salt put on top. That's basically going to be my meal later on, because I'm after getting very lazy. I'm not doing anything fancy with avocados or anything at the moment. So I keep sugar and refined carbs out of my diet when I'm on strict keto. So the blood sugar remains stable. So I've done a test on this on my CGM. I got a CGM deliberately for this. And my blood sugar, when I'm in full ketosis in a good way and I've been off carbs for a while, it stays around 4.8. And that seems to me to be the optimum. Between kind of 4.5 and 5 seems to be the absolute optimum. If you're going to 5 on an ongoing basis, it's probably a little bit high. But look, I wouldn't worry too much about it. When I came off carbs, it stayed at 5.4 for 5 days, even though I was on keto. But obviously the carbs was a lot, and I had drank a lot of alcohol, which is stored only in your liver. So it takes a while for that to clean out. But right now I feel like I'm really, really cleaning out. So the number one reason why the nation is so fat, Western nations, is because of insulin resistance. And that's because we're hyperinsulinemic, we're eating carbs too often, and to even the skinny people. So there is a thing called skinny fat, and you can be very unhealthy on the inside. Like, I'm quite chubby on the outside, but I mean, because this is the difference with keto and other diets. I don't like calling keto a diet, but anyway. And it took me a long time to even call my YouTube channel Kate's Keto, because I was like, the association with keto is negative in society. But then I realized that it is the most accurate term, is call it keto. So I don't like using the term keto diet, because it's not really a diet, but I suppose it is. Let's not split hairs. But the reason keto is better than other diets is because it keeps carbs out of every meal. So what I do is I go on keto diet and I go less than 5 grams of carbs, but then I go, at Christmas, I eat and drink whatever I want. So, and I pay the price for that, because I pile on the pounds. I don't care. So when I'm now on keto 3 or 4 days, my insides are cleaned out first. So my body has a break. There's no hyperinsulinemia. I'm not releasing any big spikes of blood sugar and then big spikes of insulin. So that's what I'm trying to avoid. So we're eating too often refined carbohydrates and sugar, and you've got to start to get them out of your diet. I should hold this up here, really. That's the mic. Listen, I'm going to go do the next one, and I'll keep going with my little book that I have. It'll be released on Amazon soon, but I haven't it uploaded yet. All right, take care, bye.